Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video. This one is a flip of this completed ledger journal. I have done little flips through of it when it was nearly completed, so some of these you will have seen before, but yeah, it's finished. So there are lots of pages in. Bless me, that's a great way to start a video. Excuse me, sorry about that. I tend to work with one designer's stuff in a particular journal. So this ledger journal will be mostly Dina's products. Although there are some pages in here where I've done them for a class that you can find on my website. This is the pensive face stencil. I think this page was when Dina released the paints in these nice sort of pastel shades. Was taffy, papaya, watery, minty, lavender, really pretty colours. Playing with some older collage paper faces. Dina did a supporters live where she shared an artist who creates really cool like layered pull flip out pieces of art, and so I had a bit of a play with face that lifted up with birds inside. Don't know, can't explain. Dina style flowers, nice and loose. This was the stamp in one of the more recent, was it Squared Up stamp set, came from Dina. This is one of the coaster stencils. I think it is it called Painted Doily or something like that? It's this one here, look, you can see that I've used that and then just extended the pattern out a bit further. There's loads of bears in this journal as well. Again, playing with the pensive face stencil and just making like a little pocket with a bit of transparency, and then this kind of sits so that lines up there, so she's just peeping out. More of the pensive face. I do love it. It's one of my favourite images when it comes to faces that Dina's produced, I think. Apart from probably the You Matter stamp set, that is also one of my favourites. Just using the transparencies as your focal point is a really easy way to create. So there are a few pages in this journal where I've drawn animals. This is part of a class on my website called Mixed Media Menagerie, and you get all the templates and tuition that you need to draw lots of different animals, and they work really nicely in this ledger journal as well. I also go through lots of tips and tricks of how you can kind of cheat a little bit when it comes to creating this kind of imagery in your book. Again, more Dina style loose flowers. These were foxgloves that were growing in my garden. Pensive face again. That's another animal from the Mixed Media Menagerie. Using a stencil with a Stabilo All pencil. So lots of these pages will be on my YouTube channel. You'll be able to nip back through the back catalogue and find them. This is the Alphas stamp set. What's it called? Block Alphas. It's this one. This is one of Dina's. I love it. Again, this is the same stamp set, and I've just cut the letters out. That ended up being a page that I didn't really like, but actually I think it's grown on me. There's quite a lot going on, and I think sometimes I don't always know when to stop, but it doesn't matter, does it really? Adding a bit of fabric into my journal. I do love these bear stamps, they're so cute. This is another one from actually no, this was one that I did with my subscribers, my art journal lovers, in a live. That was lots of fun. This is from Mixed Media Menagerie. This was inspired by one of Dina's bear releases. Mixed Media Menagerie. So a couple of tags. It's kind of, I really love to alter my journal pages and create pockets and cutouts. I think it just kind of makes it so much more fun when you're leafing through. that things aren't just all the same. So here I've actually created on the transparency like it is a page. I used a punch to make this kind of lacy edge on my page too. I often create on tags, and then I will pop the tags into my journal. So that's a nice way that you can kind of use up the back of pages like this that are maybe a little bit smaller. That's another one from the Mixed Media Menagerie. This is a class on my website. I think I can't remember what it's called, but it isn't expensive, and lots of people did it. There's also a private Facebook group for that one, and it was interesting to see how people had kind of altered the class and made their own take on it. Again, tags with transparencies and lots of colour, long thin tags. Tags playing with transparencies again. I made a little pocket to keep those in. Stamping onto transparency. See, these have warped a little bit because of what's on the back of here, which I can't show you just yet. So let me just grab a piece of paper to hide it, because it's going to be a reel for Ranger, so we'll hide that away. Tunnel pages, just by tearing, super easy. I decided I wanted to create on a piece of transparency right backwards, so none of it will scrape off on this side. It is actually flaking away underneath, but I kind of quite like how I like how that looks. Just fun to try things and see whether it works. This is an art journal page that I reworked, that I had done a long time ago, and I wanted to see if I could create it on a bigger scale and do it slightly different. So sometimes it's fun to grab a journal, find a spread that you really like, see if you can recreate it in a slightly different way. This was a reel that I did for Ranger recently with Dina's bears. Using the collage sparks, I sewed a couple of them together around the edges, so that's where all these little bits of cotton come from. This, I do think sometimes it looks nice with a little bit of stitching on. I used some of the mixed media tape, the canvas tape, to pop them into my journal, and then just created on them using the sticks with leaves stamp set and the bears. More loose flowers, a la Dina style. So in my garden, I know something's leaked through and stuck the pages together. I had in the summer lots of dahlias, and they're just one of my favourites. So I had a go at drawing some of those quite loosey-goosey in my journal. That sums it up. When I went to Australia, somebody showed me glossy accents. It just shows you've always got something to learn. I love this kind of touchy-feely, slightly raised feel that it gives. They do feature a little bit more. I've been playing with Dina's Spellbinders, Better Press, some of her releases. Yeah, I'm not really a big one for using my die cut machine, but I do like how that looks. So yeah, these were lots of pages that I created for Dina's most recent release. Bears, birds, more bears, and then another layered page cut out with the new stencil, and then of course this last one where I added some colour onto transparency and stapled it behind. So a really fun journal to work in, and I know lots of you are very excited now these are available again. They are lovely. So soon it will be time to crack open a new ledger journal. How exciting. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me creating this journal. I'll be starting a new one very soon. I've decided that my journals are now all going to have these kind of belly bands, which I am custom making myself. I do have a few on my website for sale, not quite like this, similar. Anyway, so thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.